I don't know how to explain, how to describe this feeling, honestly. I was just minding my own business at my place. Just laying on the couch, watching videos, TikToks, movies, chatting with my friends, doing regular stuff we all do. And all of a sudden, 2 kilometers away, a rocket falls. My name is Katarina. I moved to Canada on March of 2023 because of the war in Ukraine. I came here, I didn't have any job, I didn't have a credit score, I didn't have money, so it was pretty hard to find the permanent house. And the place I found was pretty expensive, it was over $1,000. And it was a small, really tiny room with no window. The only window I got had a view to the hallway where everyone left their shoes. So I didn't even see the daylight. Like 3 weeks later, one of my roommates asked me if I wanted to share a bottle of beer with him. He was like 40, maybe in his 40s. I was 19. He was also not Canadian, and I thought it was interesting because I like sharing my experience, sharing my culture, hearing about other people's culture. It's interesting, it's cool, it's fun. I said yes, because it's one bottle of beer, and I was at my place, I was living there. We were talking, we were discussing music, literature, cinematography, different stuff. And when I told him I was a photographer, he asked me to go outside to his car and just take a few pictures of him. And we went out, he gave me his phone, I took a few pictures of him, and it was fun. But I thought that man was trying to flirt with me. He did not say anything straight. So I just thought that maybe it's just me, you know, maybe I'm overreacting. And then he asked me to sit into the car. I thought maybe he wanted to find something, show me something, I don't know. So we were in his car and he started the car. And I was like, what's going on? I kept asking, he did not say a word. It was the middle of the night. The streets were empty, it was dark. So he drove me to the beach and said he wanted to go for a walk. It was pretty cold, so I said that let's go back home. But he did not start the car. He started talking about something, but I didn't even pay attention to that stuff. I was just thinking and processing the whole situation. But the only sentence I heard was the last one, and it was blah, 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 blah. So I think you should kiss me. And he like leaned forward to me, and I distanced as much as I could, as much as I possibly could. I said no. Like at that very moment, I said no. And he did not stop. He just said why. Like if I had to explain, if I was obligated to explain, if no is something that's needed to be explained. And I decided to lie. I said I have a boyfriend because it usually works to men, but not this time. And he said, so what? So what? And I just said, like, what do you mean? I have a boyfriend. I am not going to kiss you. And he kept talking to me and not starting the car. I thought about just running away, but we lived in the same place. What's the purpose? Maybe I was afraid that it can make a situation even worse. because I will see him today, I will see him tomorrow, I'm going to see him every single day at my place. I was just in the middle of nowhere in the night, praying for him to drive us home safe, alive at least. And as he started driving, he started saying weird shit like, "Do you want me to hit your boyfriend?" I was like, what? It was a question that came out of nowhere. And I said, no, what do you mean? And he kept asking it. He asked me, do you want me to hit your boyfriend? If I hit your boyfriend, will you kiss me? And then he made a statement, if you don't kiss me, I will hit your boyfriend. To say that I was scared is to say literally nothing. I was just slowly realizing that I can end up in absolutely any situation. Anything can happen. There is a chance that I will come back home, fall asleep, wake up next morning and everything will be fine. And there is a chance that I'll end up raped and dead somewhere in the forest. I was just trying to do not shake. It's like with angry dogs, you know? The main thing is to do not show the dog that you're afraid of it. But my arms were just numb. I could barely move because I felt numb, I felt freezed. If it had happened to me in Ukraine, I would have options. I would have known what to do, I would have known who to tell and who to ask for help, who to ask for at least support. Because here I could not talk to anybody. I didn't know anybody to talk to. Again, I was living with middle-aged men who got wasted together. Who was I supposed to trust? For me, it feels like if I was a kid yesterday, not even a teen, but a kid. And I have to be an adult today. In one day, I had to become grown up, to become an adult who can solve every of her problems, who can cope with everything, who can keep everything under her control. And I just feel lost sometimes because I don't know how to act, I don't know how to feel. I don't know if I'm hurt, I don't know if I'm scared, I don't know if I'm upset, and I cannot even describe my feelings to myself. Me and my dad used to sit in the kitchen and talk for hours straight, literally 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of conversations till the late night while drinking a cup of tea after a cup of tea after a cup of tea after a cup of tea. And I hesitated about if I had to tell my dad about that or if I didn't have to tell about it, because it's tough. He is completely helpless. He cannot do anything. I crossed the goddamn ocean. I'm not just in a different country. I'm on the different continent. He cannot do anything. It's literally impossible. It's impossible to say, Katya, come here. I made tea. And I left Ukraine because I didn't know how to live, what to do, where to go. Everything turned upside down. And then we sat into the car at that moment. I don't know, I was just really afraid. I felt as unsafe as I was when I heard the rockets.